Yo, 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 welcome back to the Core 94 Presents. I'm your host, DG Baggs. I'd like to thank our special guest, Faith Hill, for coming on. Make sure y'all follow her at Instagram at Faith Hill is me, and on TikTok at I am Toothless and Ruthless. You already know who it is. Just pull her name up. It'll go already to it, man. Shout out to you, Faith. But without further ado, we got my man, award-winning filmmaker. You know what I'm saying? You might have heard or seen his movie on Tubi, Coming to Africa. Welcome to Ghana, man. Without further ado, Mr. Anwar Jamison.
Yeah, what's going on, DJ?
Man, I'm good, brother. How about you, man? I see you on that press run. You moving, man.
Man, I'm great. I'm loving to, get back to this phase of it. It's all fun, but when the work is done and we get to roll it out to the people, this is when it really gets fun.
Man, I got so many questions to you. First of all, I want to say congratulations. I'm so proud. I know we first linked up like during the pandemic. We was supposed to do this interview. I did interview Khalil Kane and promotion for the movie. That was when I first saw it. We actually just watched it again. I watched it with my family, my son, my brother. Man, everybody loved this movie. I got so many questions. I remember talking to Khalil Kane about it. He was so excited because he couldn't believe that you actually like pulled it off in the way you did it, because he remembered talking to you from the beginning when it was just an idea. So before we talk about, you winning the award and everything about it, can you talk about like how you actually started and came up with this movie, like actually writing it and wanted to direct and the whole thing?
So the first one was just, Coming to Africa came about with me being a filmmaker and the experience my cousin was having in Ghana. He was coming back and forth and he was letting me know things over there that I had no idea were there. So the writer in me was like, okay, I'm going to do a movie about this,
Mm-hmm.
So I just put my mind to it, took some of the experiences he gave me. Initially, I thought I needed to go over there and take my own trip, before I could put it together. But, it just didn't happen that way. I didn't make, false starts. Things got in the way. So I just ended up saying, okay, the first time I go is the first time I'm going to shoot this movie, So we did that. We actually won several awards. That was around the time we spoke. Like you said, the pandemic, it was like, it was a downer because we had this movie. We knew what we had, but the pandemic kind of came and we had to just fight through that and get it out there the best we could and go to streaming. But now we got the sequel. You got Coming to Africa, Welcome to Ghana. We did it again. We went over there this past October. We shot the part 2, the follow-up, the sequel, and now this time it's wide open. So we get to bring it to the people for real. So I'm excited about doing this again with the second movie. But yeah, we leveled up, man, and we made it even a bigger and better event this time.
Man, okay, so that makes sense. I don't want to give out too much of the movie, but now, so whenever you're in Ghana and you're at the museum and y'all talking about Kwame and Nkrumah, it's also like you at the museum too. You just filming it. It's also your first experience. Wow.
Exactly. That's what helped me with the character, because everything I was going through, I was literally going through for the first time. When you see them come put that bowl of water on the table in a restaurant,
for your hands.
You need to wash your hands right there at the table.
Like, yo, they eat with their hands, yo. What's this going on?
Yeah, that was my first time going through that. Like, okay, y'all gonna bring the soap and water right to me, huh? Okay.
Yeah, that was ill. And what's crazy is I have an uncle that's three months older than me. He's an actor on Broadway right now, and his name is Nkrumah. And my grandmother named him after Kwame Nkrumah. So it was a crazy connection watching that, man. Yep.
Wow.
His name's Nkrumah.
Wow, that is.
Yep. Yep. So, man, that was pretty dope as well, man. So many questions. So, why Khalil Kane? How did that come about? Khalil Kane is a legend. You already know you was gonna get the ladies to watch the movie by having him first of all. So that was genius.
Period. And my thing is, it's like, you come from hip hop, you come from this rap thing,
That's right.
Like I come from it and to spread out into different things. So it's almost like if you're a producer, and you got beats and you like, man, when I get a chance to finally let so-and-so, some of the rappers I love rap on my beats, they gonna love it, So as a director, when I finally, elevated to the point, okay, With this movie, I got somewhat of a budget, you know, because I come from that no budget, getting it done, working my way up, you know.
Right.
So coming to Africa was my fourth movie, you know what I mean? It wasn't my first go-round, you know. So I had got to the point where, but it was my first movie that I had enough of a budget to travel, do it on this level, and reach out to somebody. So, you know, I'm going to go to the people that we grew up looking at like that, you know, that I'm a fan of. I'm like, I got to get somebody I'm a fan of, you know. And when I got up with him, he was so down to earth, man, and we just clicked, you know what I mean? And he really is just that cool. And it was really like that feeling of, I always say when I get a chance to get an actor that I look up to in my movie, they're going to respect my writing, they're going to respect my directing, they're going to feel me. And that's how it was, you know what I mean? He read the script. Like, oh, okay, like, we got something, like, you know, what's up? And we just locked in from there. And he really, like, a veteran, you know what I mean? Like, that cool veteran. He don't do much. He let me do my job. But when he chimed in with something, it'd be on point. Like, hey, why don't we just, you know, just do this? Like, you're right, I got you, you know?
Yeah.
So he real cool. He won't say much. He don't overstep. But when he step in there, he got that good veteran advice, like a big brother for real.
Yeah, shout out Khalil Kane. And he's so down to earth, it's almost shocking. I actually learned something from him, you know what I mean? Because you would think somebody that's been in movies with Danny DeVito, like in Renaissance Men and Tupac first movie and Omar Epps and Bones and shows like the Game and all that shit, you would think that he's like, nah, bro, so down to earth. You feel uncomfortable. You're like, yo, bro, maybe I'm too arrogant for my own good, yo. Like, you know what I mean? Like, maybe I'm bugged out. Like, you know
right. For real. That's it, right?
Nigga in movies with Mark Wahlberg and he just mad cool chilling. Yo, man, smiling, you know what I mean? I'm like, yo, all right, you know, Khalil Kane's a real one, for sure.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, man. Yep. So, you know, man, I got so much, man, I want to talk to you about, bro. So I want to tell you, one of my favorite scenes in the movie was early in the movie. Like I say, without giving too much what everybody's saying, we're going to talk about it as if it was like a preview. There's a scene where you go in to the office with your bosses and you think you're going to get some good news, but you got some bad news.
Right.
Where did is that from experience, that face? Like, I know you're a filmmaker, but you really a dope actor too, bro. I was upset. I felt that, bro, because I've experienced something like that. I've built up someone's company up before, and they did that to me. And they give you all that excuses, and they lay it down, and then you looking at the other guy, the one you think they got the pull for you, and he acting like, oh, damn, you know, I really don't want to hear this, but he the one that really, well, this is what we do, you know? So, I mean, we agreed on it, you know? You just, damn, bro, I've been here longer than him, and you feel me?
Exactly, yeah, so that part wasn't an exact personal experience, but, you know, I'm pulling from our collective experiences, you know, because we know enough of us who go through that, who went through that, you know? And I just really wanted to bring that point home and make a point about that, because there's a few things going on in that scene. Because like you see Bickerstaff, or here's somebody whose name is on the company, right? Mm-hmm. And he just kind of looking like, dang, I'm powerless. I'm looking at him like, you know, it's kind of like in a way Boomerang with you know, right. Eddie Murphy. He thought she had the clout. He done went and you know, and slept with
Lady Eloise.
She had the clout, Lady Eloise. He don't know Lady Eloise just the name right now. You know, she really still got the power. You know, so I'm making a couple points in there. You know, but yeah, that happens to us a lot, and I just really wanted to speak to that and to the character Adrian, because at that point, my character, he feel like he on cloud nine. He's that guy. I'm Mr. Black Enterprise, but
I don't want to hear that black shit.
Right, exactly. But if you don't own it, it can always be snatched away from you. You know what I mean? You can't never get too comfortable.
You dropped a jewel in that scene earlier, my man.
Yeah, man, that's what it is. You know, it's cool to be management. You know, it's cool to be manager, work your way up, be the manager, but just realize who you are. The manager is not the owner. You know, you can manage and supervise many people as you want, but if it's given to you, it can be taken away. So I really wanted to make a point about that.
No, you did that. So this was shot in Memphis, Tennessee?
Yeah, that part was shot in Memphis. And then, you know, obviously Ghana. So yeah, that part right there
Right.
was shot in Memphis.
Are you from
Yes,
Memphis?
sir.
Are you from Memphis also?
No, you know what? I've been in Memphis as home. My life is split like directly in half. I've been living in Memphis my entire adult life. You know, I tell people every bill I paid, every lease I signed was in Memphis. But, you know, I'm a Midwest dude. You know, I'm from Racine, Wisconsin. So
Okay.
that's my upbringing, my childhood. And when I went to college, I came to Memphis. My father was from Memphis, a lot of my family. I'm like, let me go somewhere where I know somebody, but get away from home. And I ended up loving Memphis. I fell in love with it, and I made it my home as an adult.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, because I do want to. I want to talk a little bit more about the movie. Then I want to ask you about how you got into filmmaking and why you chose that route as well. But I want to stay in Memphis for a second. So that scene at the barber shop. Even my kid was like, "Ooh, look at that stuff on the wall!" Like, where did you shoot that barbershop scene, and who designed that wall? You know what I mean? With all those pretty design, that yellow wall right there. Was that on purpose? Was that premeditated?
You know what? It wasn't at the time, but it just fit. You know, Power Uhuru, the actor who's playing one of my brothers, our other brother, or the three brothers in there.
Right.
You know, the one with the locks. You know,
Shout out to him.
Yeah, shout out to him. That was actually their shop. You know what I mean? Nappy by Nature here in Memphis. They've since moved to another location. But at the time, that was their actual shop. So I'm like, cuz, this is perfect. You know, he's an artist. So all of that on the wall, he did that. You know, he did all that himself. So I was like, cuz, this is the perfect location. We're going to use the shop. And we shot it, and it just went with it perfect. You know what I mean? It was just one of those things that fell into place. But yeah, he's an artist also, so he actually did all that himself.
Yeah, man, he did an excellent job too, man. You got a lot of quotables in this movie too that I'm gonna be making like TikTok and Instagram posts. You know, like the one I just did with Cat Williams that went viral. He reposted and shared it when I have the audio playing in the background while I'm doing some things. But man, you got some funny shit on there too. Then he say, "Hey, that's bro." That's me. Hey, bro, man, can we get out of here, man, before them niggas kill us, man? Before you get us killed in this motherfucker, man? I say, boy, that's a southern nigga there, man, for real, bro. That's real, because I've been out of town, you know what I'm saying? And we got money, we doing our thing, we popping, bro. I'm spending money in here, you telling me to such a, hey, bro, listen, man, chill out. Did a nigga tell you he the boss? Hey, bro, can we go now, man, before these niggas kill us in here, man? For real.
Right.
Bro, you did an excellent job on this movie, man. I loved it all the way through, man. For real.
Man, I appreciate it. Wait till you see the new one too, man. That's what's so crazy about it. Hey, it's just lovely, man, to be able to get those reactions. That's the reaction we got. We premiered the first one at the Las Vegas Black Film Festival, you know, and we went from there, man, and just to see people's genuine reaction. It's priceless, you know. Awards is cool, you know, the money, you know, trying to get to that, the journey is obviously cool. But for me, man, like looking people in the eye or hearing you say this on the phone, all of those genuine reactions, that's it for me, man. That's the highest reward I can get.
It's an honor, bro, to even be talking with you. It be the little things, bro. We rewind the part where you was getting dressed and you did this little spin move before you went to the closet. We rewinded that about 10 times, bro. Man, listen, man. I don't want to listen to this. I can't be a fan right now. I got to do my job, goddammit. I got to do my job. Okay, listen.
You know what's crazy about that part, though? So I'm going to give you a jewel. That's a filmmaker thing, right?
Okay.
So we sitting there blocking the scene. It's like, how do I come out of the bathroom and get into the closet without turning my back to the camera and just, you know what I mean? So we sitting there and I did that. Everybody kind of cracked up like, yeah, that'll work, you know? So that was really just a cool way that kind of turned into comedy for me to not walk out and just turn that corner and just turn my back to the camera, you know, which you don't want to do. So,
right.
Yeah, it came out cool.
Even on stage, you don't turn your back to the crowd. That's right.
Exactly. So we, you know, that was my little way. What if I do this? So they was like, that'll work. You know. You cold. So let's go.
You cold. So we got to talk about Ama McBride, man. How did that go? And shout out to her, bro, because she actually, the movie is great. she actually elevated the movie. Like, I actually forgot it was a movie for a second. Like, even the scene when y'all started walking after you met her in the restaurant the second time, that conversation seemed like a real, like, you know what I'm saying? Okay, you know, Al Green. And then I'm like, bro, she just should do more acting. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Man, bro, I cannot explain. I always try to explain to people how big she really is over there, bro.
She like Rihanna over there.
In Ghana, this is what I tell people. Well, I do you one better. I always tell people it's like if you took Beyonce and Oprah Winfrey and rolled them up into one person. You know what I mean? Because she acts, but she does TV. She hosts too. You know what I mean? She got a couple talk shows, but then she act. You know what I mean? So maybe I say Taraji and Oprah Winfrey. You know what I mean? And roll them up into one. You know what I mean? And it's like, she great, man. She sharp at what she do. You know, that conversation seemed so genuine because a lot of what she was saying came from her. You know what I mean? The Al Green line was in the script. But, yeah, man, she's just on point. And when you see the second one, like, that's what I love about this second one. I was able to really turn her loose even more. The second one is her story. When you see the first one, it really centers around me and what I was going through at my job and how I ended up in Ghana. When you see the second one, it starts with her family. You see her at school. You see her friends. You see it really is her story. And I was able to let her shine even more. So that's what I love about this one. When you see the second one, you're going to really be like, ooh.
That's going to be, it's going to be amazing because, like I said, we don't want to ruin it for those who didn't see, but you want to know more about the daddy. You like, damn, he really boss turkey. You know what I'm saying? She like, nah, I'm daddy's girl. Like, you know what I mean? So I gotta ask you this before we no, we not done yet, but I gotta ask you this. So there's a scene where you going to go buy her the purses, right? And who is the lady that's selling the purses, man?
I already know what you. Hey. So she's, shout out Linda. So PY, who's the producer, and also plays JoJo in there. You know what I mean? The bad guy who tried to get at us for a minute. You know what I mean?
Right.
The villain. That's my guy, man. He's a super cool dude.
He was funny too.
We were when we got to the mall, we got ready to shoot. We didn't really have an actress for that part. It was in the script for somebody. You know, we have to buy the person. Somebody's gonna have to sell them to us. So, you know, that's somebody. He's cool, and he's like, "Hey, can we slide her in there?" I'm like, "Yeah, most definitely." So, when I put her on the screen, I just say I had several questions about her. You know, she got some reactions. You know,
she did.
But
is she in the sequel?
After that day, he was like, "Hey, can we put her in there?" I'm like, "Yeah, let's do it." You know. And it worked, you know.
Is she in the sequel?
No, she actually not. She actually not in the sequel. But yeah, you know, she's out there on IG. You know, she's in the world. You know.
Yeah, man. Shout out to her. Yeah, man, you did a great job. So I just want to go back to a little bit. You know, you say you're from the Midwest. You got all your money and all your bread and your experience in Memphis. Tell me how you got into filmmaking. You know what I'm saying? Screenwriting, acting, the whole thing.
You know, the crazy part is it was gradual, but I've always been a writer my whole life from a very early age. I'm talking 6, 7, 8. I was taking it seriously. So I was always like, what's the medium to work in to get the most impact? You know, I wanted to reach the most people. So you go through, when I was young, I thought, okay, I'm going to be the next great novelist. You know, I wanted to be like Richard Wright. That was my favorite author. I used to read a lot. So I'm like, I'm going to be the next great author. I'm going to write novels. Then I hit those teen years, it's hip hop, you know. I'm like, I'm going to be the next great rapper. You know what I mean? So I had my independent rap career, you know, at the crib, you know what I mean? Nice, you know what I mean? Regional classics. And, you know, people know me out there for rapping at the crib. So it was like the crazy part when I was in college, I had a screenwriting class. And our last assignment, our final assignment was to write the first act of a movie. So that was my first shot at writing the screenplay. And the next morning after we turned it in, like it was like a class in the morning. The teacher called me, the professor, about 7 something in the morning, waking me up. I'm like, yeah. She's like, do you mind if we, use your script as the example in class today? I'm like, dang, okay, cool. Now, mind you, this is an all-white class. I'm up at University of Wisconsin Whitewater at this point. I had transferred up there to the crib to graduate. You know what I mean? And I was like, it was funny because it was my first movie. It turned into my first movie eventually called Funeral Arrangements.
Wow.
That I put out. But if you can imagine, like, Friday, like Craig and Smokey, and you in the class with, a whole bunch of white dudes, the only black dude, and you read Craig and Smokey with a white dude. I'm in the class, like, embarrassed. She's like, oh, don't be embarrassed. You can cuss. Go ahead. We're all grown, sitting there like, oh, man, I didn't think I was going to read this out loud. So that was kind of a spark. She told me, do something with this later on. You should finish that script and do something with that movie. So fast forward, in my rapping days, just by chance, this dude, I done told people, come up, do this video. I was about to shoot a video, and this dude left me hanging. You know what I mean? Not answering the phone. It's going to voicemail. I got some of my coworkers, girls up here going to be in the video. He got me looking stupid. You know what I mean? And he just didn't answer the phone and left me hanging. Later on, he told me he went to jail. I guess he did. But long story short, I was like, here you go. Another thing I got to learn how to do for myself. I'm like, I'm going to film school. It was kind of on a whim, but I was like, see, because if I wanted to learn how to do it myself, I wanted to learn how to do it right. So, it was other little factors, but that really motivated me. Like, I got to learn how to do videos myself. So I went to film school really being on I'm going to do more music videos. I learned how to do movies, but when I got in there, I got bit with the bug, and it was on from there. Once I got in film school, it wasn't no looking back. It was like I can take my writing and I can put it on a way bigger platform and do it like this. I was like, oh, yeah, this is it right here.
Yep, because those scripts push way further than music. I'm telling you.
Yeah,
man.
And I saw the writing on the wall. Me and my guy had a big disagreement at that time. It was me and my partner. He was like, "Oh, that sounds like excuses." I was telling him why it ain't working. I'm grinding, like, you know what I mean. He done invested in it, and I'm like, bro, I was like, what's the last rapper that done got in the game rapping like us, who really trying to get in on their skills? And this was the Jeezy era. This was like I don't like rappers, but you're rapping ass. This was that era, like, where it was like not cool to be spitting,
to be boring up on
niggas. Yep. Right. It was like, if you ain't the dope boy, if you ain't this and that, they wasn't trying to hear. Yeah. So I saw the writing on the wall. I told him, bro, I'm about to slide more into these movies where I can sprinkle my music in when I want to. You know what I mean? He's like, that sounds like excuses to me, but later on, he saw what I was talking about, and it wasn't until, thankfully, Kendrick. It was really the Kendrick and J. Cole era where they start allowing people to spit again, and it was cool again.
And it's still, and even then,
it was a window of time where you look crazy trying to really, really, really spit.
Right. And even then, with Kendrick and Cole, it still had to be edible. It still had to be kind of poppy a little bit, kind of toony with the hook, and you couldn't just bar up and just be what it is. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
You gotta be, don't save her. She don't want to be saved. It's like he boring up, but you still got to be jingly with it,
Exactly. He had a bar in there that said something about when you could go platinum without being melodic. He said something like that, talking about the past. He was saying, like right now you're gonna have to have the melodies and everything with it.
Yeah. Well, I don't want to hold you up too much, man. I appreciate it so much, man. Can you tell everybody where they can find you, your social media, where they can find the movie, and let us know when part 2 is coming out?
So, check this out. It's just my name, Anwar Jamison, Anwar Jamison. That's how you can get me on Instagram, Facebook, at Anwar Jamison. Hit me up. I'll hit you back. We can holler. The Coming to Africa right now is on most platforms, Amazon, Google Play, all of that. But it is on Tubi now because a lot of people don't like to buy and rent. Like, come on, man, go and buy a rent if you. But now it's on Tubi. So just watch it. You ain't got no excuse once it hit Tubi. Check that out. And part 2, we on a festival run right now. So just tap in, get on my social media. You're going to hear all about it. We premiered last week at the African Film Festival in Dallas. Took home my first award for this one. Now we got a couple more announcements. I ain't made it public yet, so I ain't gonna even say. Y'all got to come on my social media. But we got another festival in 2 weeks. That's a big one. And we got 2 more at the beginning of July. I ain't made it public yet, so I'll say what they are. Then we premiering after that. We taking this one on tour. You know what I mean? So look for us in a city near you. Khalil Kane is coming out on the tour with us. If you want to come out and meet him, you know what I mean? We're going to be hitting a city near you. We're starting that tour as soon as we get back from Ghana. We premiering in Ghana July 21st. We come back, we starting that tour, and we rolling from there. And then you can catch it on streaming in October. But in between there, we bringing it to the people. Coming to Africa, welcome to Ghana is the official title. And the second one is Welcome to Ghana, because I wanted to show love to Ghana and include Ghana in the title, because I do love Ghana and I want Ghana to get that love.
Man, that's dope. That's dope right there. Are y'all coming to Houston on that tour?
We sure are, bro. So yeah, we're gonna have to connect. We're gonna have to sit down.
Yeah, let's
we coming
do that.
to Houston. We got dates, like I say, just follow me, check me out. ComingToAfricaMovie.com as well. If you go on there, the box gonna pop up. Please go on there, subscribe. You can get on the mailing list, you'll get all the news first. But Houston is one of the cities, so we're gonna be rolling those dates out in the next couple of weeks.
Give us a drop before we get out of here. Can you say this is Anwar Jamison on the Core 94?
Yeah, this is Anwar Jamison on the Core 94 with DG Bags. You already know.
Yeah.
Come through, just us two. I like it 'cause you come.